Welcome back to the Webby O'Neill channel, and it's the match preview. Brighton versus Manchester United. A little earlier than expected, this one. It's because I'm really looking forward to this game. I expect it to be a fantastic game of football and a good marker to see where Manchester United can come up against Liverpool the following week. Now, what's your first thoughts going into this game?
I think it's a massive game, to be honest with you. I think we've all got to stop looking at Brighton as a second-tier team. Well-run club. They know what they're doing. I think their football, the way the players get into the system, they keep the ball, the possession and everything. They're on the up. You only have to look at last week, 3-0 away at Everton. Everton, you look at them, they used to be a big club. That's how it seems to me. Brighton are one of those clubs now, creeping up the ladder and getting up there. And I do believe Brighton are a good run club and will challenge for their European place. And I think last year's experience will do them the world of good.
We've just touching on that praise that you're giving Brighton. I don't think it was any surprise to me, the scoreline that they beat Everton last week. I mean, they've got a good young player there in Minter, who ended up going off after a bit of a collision with Everton's left-back. But he looks a strong player as well. And the recruitment that they've done over the summer, you were saying to me earlier on that they've already spent roughly 120 to 150 million pound.
Well, that's the sign of the club. They're not a small club anymore. They're up there, well-run. Spending that amount of money, some of the top teams in the Premier League can't get anywhere near their spend. And that's what I'm saying. You talk about last week, going to Everton, beating them. Now, at the end of the day, Manchester United fans, I'd rather go to Everton. I'd rather go to Everton confidently saying we're going to get a result. I can't say that against Brighton. Yes, 1-0.
3-0.
3-0. But going to Everton, I'm confident. Go to Brighton, I'm not confident. And nor should we be confident. This is a good football inside, a proper football inside. Doesn't matter if they've had a manager change here, there and everywhere. You look at the manager now, just come in. He's producing the football as you've seen last week.
A very young manager as well, and it makes you wonder why De Zerbi even left in the first place, especially when you're looking at the amount of money they've already spent. There's a strong rumour as well. They're looking at the actual Fenerbahce left-back coming in as well for about £30 million. But like you go back to, they're a very well-run club. And this is what happens when you run a club like Brighton have done, and you can have these summer transfer windows where you go out there and spend to go again. And they're clearly looking to compete in the Premier League this season.
Well, if you look at the spend, they've no worries about having the money to spend. They've sold loads of players, made massive profit on the players, and that's down to the scouting, the recruiting, the management there, the way they've dealt with the finances and everything. You know, they're actually like right up there where you turn round, even, especially as a Man United fan, I say, I wish our club was run like that.
Yeah.
And it feeds through to the football. And everyone who goes out on that field for Brighton has the free to express football. And each manager what's been in over the last few years carries on that tradition. So it's not just having the manager there, it's having the people in the background. They play some excellent football. Yes, sometimes they get caught out. It fails. But hey, it all fails for everyone at some point.
Yeah, no, of course it does. And like I said about that Minter, they actually got him from Newcastle, which I couldn't believe he was actually at Newcastle. And I think they sold him for roughly about £30 million. And he looks a really exciting prospect for Brighton. I watched the first half against Everton, and he created the goal for Mitoma, who we all know about and how dangerous he can be on the opposite flank as well. So we're going to have it tough here against Brighton. You know, Mazraoui, is he going to start? Again, you know, him up against Mitoma. Let's see how them two get on. We all know how Wan-Bissaka handled Mitoma in the semi-final in the FA Cup a few years back. And on the left-hand side, Delo, I think he's going to have a tough time against this young lad, Minter, especially with his pace and his directness.
I think when we talk about a tough time against Brighton, I think what you have to do, United, and this is what I'm looking for, and I think lots of United fans out there, is the possession, keeping the possession and the work rate. Against Fulham at times, that possession was there, but the work rate sometimes during the game wasn't players running back, players closing down. And that's something what Brighton do. They keep the possession, but they also close down up top and also at the back. And United have to be on it. Yes, first game, probably the fitness didn't help, but it's the first game. Now then, they've got plenty of time. They've had the training and all that. They should be up there. But it is imperative that United do the work rate. to match Brighton. And if they don't do that, they will fail.
Yeah, a big thing I'm looking for in this game is tactically how we set up against Brighton, especially how they play out from the back. And you're talking about work rate. You know, whoever starts on the left-hand side, the right, and up top, when they're pressing, they need to press as a unit, because if one of them fails, they will literally play round us, Brighton, and they'll be through our midfield, pressing our back four with 1 or 2 passes, and that's how quick they can counter-attack or build up their actual play. So tactically, I'm thinking to myself, will Eric Ten Hag go with a false 9 again? Is Xerxes up to a match-fit level where he can actually start the game? That's the only little indecision I've got going into this one. I wouldn't really mind us playing that false 9 if Bruno was there and Mason Mount behind him, but it's all about whether Xerxes is proper 100% match fit, and that was a plus as well. Apart from the 3 points against Fulham, we come away from that game with no fresh injury concerns as what we know up to now.
Yeah, tactically, I haven't got a problem with the false 9. It's just that they all have to do the job. They didn't all do the job against Fulham, because when you look at the game against Fulham, there was chances created, and we really should have been out of sight against Fulham with the chances what was created.
Yeah.
It's just the work rate up there, and people have to get used to a new tactic. Will that false 9 be used throughout the season? I'm sure it will at times. Against Brighton, I don't see any changes coming in. I think they have to get right up to match speed. Everything needs to work right before they start changing things. I think when you look at Eric Ten Hag, he has to go solid, and that really, the false 9 to me, makes it look solid in the way they want to keep possession and sort of create chances. So false 9, I've no worries about it. Xerxes starting the match. No, I think he'll be on the bench. I think the false 9 will be the right. And I can only actually see, this is my opinion, I can only see one change coming in, even from a tactical point of view, and that's Ligt coming in for Harry Maguire, because I do believe in the next couple of days we might get an update on Harry Maguire being sort of like injured and as a precaution.
Yeah, he did come off in that game. Was he holding his calf? I do remember. We've not had any updates since then, but it might have been just a twinge, and hopefully it is, because we need our strongest squad and good selections from the bench as well to make changes when needed. But I do agree with that. Ligt comes in alongside Martinez, but it's going to be a tough all game for him. I really do, and it's a game I'm excited to watch. This one, I actually hope it's going to be a good game of football. And with you mentioning about the false 9, you look at the FA Cup final, the Community Shield, and against Fulham, we still produced moments of really, really good football when we play that false 9. It's just that we want to have more than 5 or 10 minutes. You know, we want to get rid of this title of Moments FC. We want to see 15, a large part of 20 minutes, controlling games. And that's something I hope we do see going forward.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to control the game. So I think he'll still get this sort of like what we say, moments in the game. Because Brighton will keep the ball. They will work hard. And what United have to do, right, is when the opportunity comes, put the ball in the net. And that's what they've not been doing. Not just in the last game against Fulham, the first game of the season. They were doing it last year. But what we have to do is stop the chances coming on us on our goal. We have to see an improvement. So that's one big thing I'm looking for. Brighton will have possession. They'll try and have opportunities, but United have to cut down the opportunities, because it was ridiculous, really, last year when you've seen how many chances on our goal, what was given. Totally ridiculous, and they have to change. So I think bringing in Ligt might be the right way to go here, because we have to play more forward. We have to close Brighton down, and that style of football actually doesn't suit Harry Maguire, because it gets caught. I gave Harry Maguire man of the match against Fulham, so it's nothing against Harry Maguire. It's the tactics. Close them down, move forward, work for each other, get the possession and put the ball in the net. That's all I'm asking for. It's a big ask, I know that, because Brighton is going to be tough. Be under no illusion. Yeah. This is a team what's going right to the top in every way.
Yeah, very well-run club, and the money that they're actually throwing into it, because they've been very well-run, it looks like they're going to try and be a force in the Premier League this season, and they could be like a bit of a surprise package this season, Brighton, in terms of where they actually finish in the Premier League. I actually do believe they're looking at Aston Villa's season last season and thinking, well, why can't we do that? we've got the football club here, we've got the players, the recruitment, everything working in the right direction. So I think they've given it a real push in this summer to think, well, why can't we finish in that fourth place this season? I think that's the targets as well. They want to keep progressing as a football club. But as we're Manchester United fans, we've got to give a little bit of praise to Brighton. We can't always have them rose-tinted glasses on, and they expect a very good game. And for me, in the centre midfield, Webby O'Neill and Casemiro, they're going to be definitely key in this game, in the way Brighton play, in the build-up possession from the back through midfield. And if we're going to see him push high up the pitch in this one, like we have seen against Fulham and in the pre-season as well, getting in the faces of the midfield, the centre-halves as well. So that's going to be key. Whether we can last the full 90 minutes with that, substitutions are going to obviously have a big impact in this game for me.
Yeah, a big impact, the substitutions. But as he mentions, Webby O'Neill and Casemiro, yes, they want to go forward. But what you have to see with them is making sure they don't get caught out, give the ball away, and then leave us open to the counter-attack. That's the problem with them too, if they go too far forward and lose the ball. So something interesting to watch.
A player who always comes up against us and always gives us a tough time is Danny Welbeck. He got on the score sheet last week for Brighton against Everton. We've got Marcus Rashford as well on the left-hand side. You would expect Marcus, when you've seen him throughout pre-season, last week as well, he's had a lot of space at times for me, and I think he will get space against Brighton if we can get that ball back in our area and we can spring them counter-attacks. If he gets that space that I think he will do in this game, it's his opportunity here to get on the score sheet and start getting some momentum going into the rest of the season for me.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the one chance what we've got is that ball over the top to the wide areas to get behind him, and we need to get behind Brighton. If we play just in front of him, they'll stop the ball coming through. That's how much they work for each other. So the ball has to go first time behind him, get that space, because there will be space on the wings behind their fullbacks.
Big decision as well, whether to start Garnacho or put Rashford, Ahmad on the right-hand side, and think for Garnacho, as that impacts up the last 20 minutes, half an hour, bring him on fresh legs, be direct and start taking their fullbacks on and looking to get crosses in the box. But a big decision there to be made, especially when, for once, I feel confident because we've got near enough a fully fit squad, apart from obviously doubts about Harry Maguire. So it's a good one for me to go into. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
They're going to do a watch-along for the game as well. So if you are available, come and join us and get involved in the chat with your opinions like you always do. And, let's see how we get on in this game. But we thought I'd do a bit of an early one, a match preview for this, because we're excited for it. Really looking forward to this as a game of football. I actually do think it will be a good game to watch. So if you've enjoyed today's video, you want to get your own opinions in, please do in the comments section and smash that like button. Let's get up to that 800 mark of likes, and it really helps the channel and today's video. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you on later today. Thank you.
Thank you.